Okay, we're looking at the front of the bus. We have our clearance lights. We're making sure that they are clean, secure, they're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. That's going to be key to when you do the test. That verbiage you're going to use over and over and over and over, which you've probably seen on the video you watched. Making sure they're clean, secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. We're looking underneath the bus to make sure that there's no leaks and nothing hanging underneath the bus. Make sure the bus is not leaning to the left or to the right, indicating a possible flat tire or a spring, broken spring or something. We're looking at our headlights to make sure that they are clean, secure, they're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Looking at our park lights to make sure they're clean, secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. You're going to want to touch each part that you can reach like this. You obviously can't reach. Our mirrors, make sure they're clean, secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our other mirror is clean, secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Crossover mirrors. Looking at our rear view mirrors the same way. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. And they are secure. And the other rear view mirror, same thing, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. It is secure. We're going to pop the hood. Looking at our windshield wipers to make sure they're secure, they're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. There you are. I'm going to open the hood. We're looking at our brake reservoir. Make sure that it has adequate fluid in it. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, missing any parts, and it is not leaking. We're looking at our washer fluid. Make sure it has adequate fluid to do what we need to do. That it is clean, secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Looking at our power steering reservoir, make sure it's secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and is not leaking. We're looking at our air intake, that it is secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. All the clamps are secure. Looking at our alternator to make sure it's securely mounted, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our serpentine belt is not cracked or damaged, and it has no more than 3/4 of an inch of play. We look down in there, we can see our water pump. Make sure that it is secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and it is not leaking. Looking at our radiator hose and our clamps on it, make sure that it's secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and is not leaking. Looking at our wiring across, make sure it's secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our coolant reservoir is secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and is not leaking. Our battery is securely mounted, it's not loose, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, missing any parts. Our wiring, our battery cables are secure, they're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. If we were to check the oil, we'd pull out the dipstick, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull it back out again, and make sure that it's between add and full. Same thing with transmission. After the vehicle has been warmed up and driven, we would check it the same. The power steering reservoir, we would pull it out, check, wipe it off, put it back in, and again make sure that it's between add and full on the fluid. And that includes under the hood. I'm going to move around to the side. We're looking at our shock absorbers under here. Make sure they're secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our front steer tire has no less than 4/32 tread depth. The rim, if we could see it, this has a cap on it. We can't really see the rim. But make sure it's secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and does not have any illegal welds. Looking at our lug nuts that we can't see because of the cap, but we would make sure they're secure, not cracked, damaged, broken. They're not loose. There's no rust trail which could indicate a loose lug nut. We would check our tire pressure to make sure it's between 60 and 80, or according to factory recommendation on the tire, that it has a steel valve cap on the valve stem. We'll move down the side. We're looking at our windows and our glass to make sure it's all clean and secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Looking at our clearance lights, amber in the front, red in the back. Making sure they are secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. We're going to look underneath the bus. We're checking to make sure that the rear differential is secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and it is not leaking. We're looking at our rear leaf springs to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Looking at our rear shock absorbers to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and they are not leaking. We're looking at our frame to make sure the frame is not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and there are no illegal welds. We're looking at our exhaust system to make sure it's securely mounted. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. And if there was a soot pattern, it could possibly indicate a leak on the exhaust system. Looking at the drive line to make sure it's secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Looking at the hangers around the drive line, make sure they're secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. And if we look toward the front to look at our shocks, make sure they're secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. And there's no foreign debris between the duals. Looking at our rear tires, make sure there's no less than 2/32 tread depth on drive tires. Again, we're checking our tire pressure, make sure it's between 60 and 80, or according to factory recommendation for these tires. Looking at the rims, again, they're covered with the cap, but we would make sure there's no cracks, damaged. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and there are no illegal welds. And the lug nuts the same way as we check the front. They're not loose, or rust pattern would indicate a possible loose lug nut. Looking at our reflector, red in the rear, amber in the front. This one does not have front ambers, but if it did, they would be amber. But rear red reflector. Looking at the back, red reflectors. We have our tag lights. They're secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Reflectors, same thing. Our tail lights, backup lights, turn signals, 4 ways, are all secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Same thing with our clearance lights on top and our top brake light. Secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. We're checking our DOT tape around the door, make sure it's secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. checking our rear door to make sure it opens and closes properly, and it should lock open, and to close it then you open and reclose. Checking the seal around the door, make sure it's secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and it latches securely. Going down this side, we would do all of the same stuff on this side that we did the other side, checking our reflectors, our clearance lights, red in the back, amber in the front, make sure they're secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our glass the same way. Our rear tires and rims, same way we check the other side. The difference on this side is our fuel. We're looking at our fuel cap. Make sure it's secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. And if we look underneath at our fuel tank, we're making sure it's secure, not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, and is not leaking. And our front tire and rims, we would check the same way here. And then Alana, if you want to step back here, where you can see in here, I'm going to put the door open. Inside, we're going to grab our seat belt. We're going to check it, make sure it's secure, it's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts, it is not frayed. Make sure it latches securely, which it does. Key out, and we're going to start the bus. We're checking our gauges to make sure that our oil pressure is between 40 and 60 psi. Checking our amp gauge to make sure it's between 12 and 14. Checking if we have adequate fuel for the trip. Our engine temperature will come up to operational temperature after we've driven. We're checking our indicators for our gearing. Make sure that that lights up and is good. Checking our left turn indicator light and it works. Our right turn dash indicator light works. Our four-way flashing indicators are working. Turn on the headlights and turn the lights on. Our bright light indicator is working on the dash. We will check our windshield washers and wipers to make sure they are working properly. That's good. Checking our blower fans to make sure it's defrost. Make sure our defroster fan is blowing properly as it should. AC fan is blowing properly as it should. Our rear heater fans are working low, high, and off. Our interior dome lights are working as they should be. High and off. We have our rear AC fans that are working low, high, and off. Our noise suppressor, which kills all interior noise in the back, does. If we pump the brake 3 times, and then hold firm pressure on it for 30 seconds, it should not bleed down, which would indicate a possible brake leak. And we're going to set the heart rate, and we're going to pull gently against it to make sure it holds. And it does, properly. And if we shut the vehicle off, turn the key to the on position, do not start it. Put it in gear and make sure the neutral safety switch works, which should not allow you to start it with in gear when it is working properly. Then we're going to get inside the bus, so if you want to come around and get inside the bus. So inside the bus, we will just start right over here with, as we're entering this door, we're looking at our rubbers on the door. Make sure they're secure. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. Our stair treads are in good shape. They're not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. We have our handrail getting in. Make sure it's secure. It's not cracked, damaged, broken, loose, or missing any parts. We have our fire extinguisher. It is charged, up to date. The tags are up to date on it. The first aid kit and body fluid kit are here. They're intact. We have our reflective triangles. We have 3 reflective triangles. We have another first aid kit. As we walk to the back of the bus, we're checking to make sure the seats are secure. The bottoms and the backs are secure. Is that key on? No. You flip that key, just turn the key to the on position. And we're checking our rear door buzzer. Make sure that the buzzer sounds as it should. It does. We're checking our seat belts to make sure they latch properly and they're not frayed or cracked or damaged. Making sure that all the buckles are working throughout the bus. And we would check all of the seat belts throughout the bus the same way. And once again, seat belt on. The second you sit in the driver's seat, make that a habit. The very second you sit down, the first thing you do, grab your seat belt. Put it on. If you happen to forget that when you go to take the test, if you happen to forget to put that on, the minute you put the bus in gear, you failed. If the seat belt's not on. Okay, and I'm going to close that door and hold on. I'm going to do the brake test pulling forward approximately 5 miles per hour. Firm pressure on the brake. Make sure it doesn't pull to the left or to the right, which it does not. And we're going to do our exterior light checks. We're going to turn on our four-ways. We have our headlights on, and we're going to walk around the bus and look at our lights. We have our four-way flasher lights on. We have our clearance lights burning. Headlights, which this one has a headlight out, which we discovered yesterday. Clearance lights down the side. Working properly. And out the front, right in the back. We have our four-way flashers. They're working. Turn signal. Tail lights. Clearance lights. Clearance lights down this side. I will get in and push the brakes. Make sure that the brake lights come on and the backup lights come on when I do that.
Good. Good.
And that concludes the pre-trip inspection.